What's up, Dub Nation? Welcome into today's show. I have a question I want to ask you before I get into the latest Golden State Warrior rumors. How long have you been a Warriors fan? Let me know down in the comment section. I'm trying to see something. I want to see who's been here the longest and who has been a fan of the Warriors for the longest on this channel. I also want to see who's the newest fan, because we accept all the old ones and all the young ones. So go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. Let's get into this first rumor about Marcus Smart of the Boston Celtics. Bill Simmons recently suggested on his podcast about a hypothetical trade scenario that would land Marcus Smart in a Golden State Warrior uniform. Now, Smart has 2 years, $27 million remaining on his contract, so that is something the Warriors would have to think about when you go into 2021 free agency. Are you willing to have money on your books like that? Now, the pieces that Bill Simmons suggested aren't pieces that help the Celtics win right away, and we'll get into what that trade looks like here in just a minute. But let's talk more about Smart's numbers and what he does on the court. You see his numbers, you say, all right, 13 points, 5 assists, 35% from three. Not that great for a guy off the bench when you look at the numbers, but then you think about what this kid does on the court, what he does as a defensive player, and how he out-hustles all of his opponents, and that is where he becomes an instant game changer for Boston and potentially for the Warriors. Now, if you want to keep up with what the Warriors are going to do with maybe their number 2 overall pick, what they're going to do with Andrew Wiggins, what they might do to land Marcus Smart, you're going to want to make sure you subscribe to our new Warriors channel, youtube.com/WarriorsTV. On my last video, I said, hey, help me get 100 new subscribers. Guess what? We got over 300 new subscribers on this channel, so you guys are awesome. Keep it up, Dub Nation, and we'll keep the videos coming all off season long. Now, here's what Bill Simmons said they should do on his podcast. He said, who says no in this deal? Wiggins and the number 2 overall pick for Marcus Smart and the 14th overall pick. So the Warriors get Marcus Smart and a late lottery draft pick. The Celtics get Wiggins and an early lottery pick at number 2. Now, what would the Warriors look like? Here's what I think. Stephen Curry, obviously your starting point guard, no duh. You put Marcus Smart next to him in the backcourt, and that answers a lot of questions when it comes to defense and when it comes to what this team is going to look like from a toughness standpoint. You got Klay Thompson. I think you just slide him to that 3. You kind of run a 3-guard lineup. Draymond Green stays at his power forward position. And you can start Kevon Looney or Marquise Chris if they bring him back, or if they decide to draft someone. Also coming off the bench, I have the Warriors taking Aaron Nesmith out of Vanderbilt, because if they trade down to 14, that's one of the guys that I think will be available around that pick. Now, this is kind of my big board. You can go to our Chat Sports channel to find out where I have these guys falling in my latest mock draft. But 11 through 15, kind of wide open. Honestly, anywhere in this draft after the top 2 is I would say, even at number 1, is a complete mystery. Cole Anthony could be available. Patrick Williams is an elite defensive player for Florida State. Sadiq Bey is one of my favorite 3-and-D prospects in this draft. Aaron Nesmith, I think, is the best pure shooter in this draft. And Tyrese Maxey is a guy that is a lot like Marcus Smart in all reality. So if you don't land Smart, I mean, you could trade down and I guess take him, but why would you do that? Now, here's the thing. I think Boston says no, and here is why. Not because it's a bad value. Wiggins at number 2, that's a great value. But because Boston is trying to win right now, and Wiggins does not help you win that much right now, the number 2 pick doesn't help you win that much right now. Marcus Smart is an elite defensive player, and he does help you win right now. I feel like I said that 100 times in that one sentence, but that's just the honest truth. Now, I want to turn our attention back to the Warriors here, because they have a trade exception this offseason that they have not used yet. Remember, they created a $17.2 million trade exception from the Andre Iguodala trade. And there's a recent report that said they will wait to use that if a special opportunity comes available. Now, with a trade exception, you can take on as much as $17 million in salary without giving up anybody in that trade, which would allow you to land an elite player like a guy like Bradley Beal. Now, the former Suns GM Ryan McDonough was on a different podcast, not the Bill Simmons podcast, and he suggested there's a deal that could land Bradley Beal in Golden State. Now, the Wizards have said they're not shopping Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal has stated repeatedly that he wants to stay loyal to the Wizards, but we all know how far loyalty goes in today's NBA. It only goes so far. And when you're a guy like Bradley Beal putting up numbers like 31 points per game, but you're shooting 35% from 3 and you're not winning games, there comes a point when you're asking, when am I going to start winning? And a place where he would win would be in Golden State. Now, Ryan McDonough's trade idea was something like this. He basically suggested and said, hey, who says no on this one? Beal goes to the Warriors. The Wizards get Wiggins, the number 2 pick, and that 2021 pick. Now, if you're not familiar with that 2021 pick, it's from Minnesota. It's top 3 protected in 2021, which means if it lands in the top 3, Minnesota keeps it. If it lands outside the top 3, the Warriors get it next year. And here's one more part if you're too confused. If it lands in the top 3 in 2021, the Warriors will get that pick in 2022. Now, if I'm the Warriors, personally, I'm saying yes to this deal because, yeah, you're giving up a lot of value, I guess, in 2 first-round picks and Wiggins, but Bradley Beal is a 30-point-per-game scorer, and you have 3 of the best shooting guards in the NBA with Beal, Clay, and Steph Curry. You got to take this deal and take the championship window while it's still open. Now, if the Warriors are to use that trade exception this offseason, $17 million worth, who would be your ideal target? Let me know in the comment section below. And before we get out of here, I want to remind you one more time to subscribe to our channel. We're growing like crazy already. Go ahead and jump on the hype train while you still can. It's youtube.com/WarriorsTV, or just scroll down and hit that big red button.